Alright, what I would like to show you in this video is an alternate way to do the cloning or multiplicity project. In the other video that I linked to in Google Classroom, we use layer masks to achieve this. I want to show you a method that with a tool you already know. So we're going to load up the photos in the exact same way. So you're going to go to File, Scripts, and then you go down to Load Files into Stack. And then you hit Browse to select the files that you want to put together. So here are my files that I'm going to put together of my son in the living room. Hit OK. I noticed if you've done a really good job on the tripod and it hasn't moved at all, you don't need to click Attempt to automatically align the source images. I was using a poorly constructed tripod and there was a bit of a shift, so I'm going to click that button and hit OK. And what Photoshop does is it takes a minute to process, but it also syncs up and lines up any slight shifts between the images. Now, the other method, as I said, involved using the layer masks to draw the different versions of the people through. A different method that you can do is using the clone stamp. So you can clone stamp your other people up into one layer. So you've got the top layer with my son sitting on the couch. The next layer down, if I hide the top layer, is him looking out the window. The next one staring at the camera right in the middle of the room. Next one doing something funny with his mouth. I don't know what he's doing in the bottom corner. On his fire truck over on the left. Behind Hedwig there, the owl, and lastly lying on the floor. All right, so if what I want to do is put them all in the same layer. So the way to achieve this is select one top layer and bring the opacity down so you can see both layers at the same time. So so now this layer, which is the top layer, is a bit opaque, but now also this guy, all right, him looking at the window, is showing through. So if you remember the clone stamp, we're taking a source and painting it in somewhere else. Though in this case, instead of painting it in a different location, we're painting it into the exact same spot. It's just that we're painting it into a different layer. So I'm going to start with the top, and notice that this second layer is active. I'm going to take a source by hitting Alt and clicking once. Now before I go back to painting, I am going to click back onto my top layer. Now let me zoom in here so we can see what we're doing. And the way that you line this up, you'll notice that you get a preview of what you're about to paint in. So if you want to paint in something the exact same spot, you're going to line up the two images before you start clicking. Alright, so I'm just trying to see here. Make sure the hairs line up exactly right, and then once I've got it, I'm just going to start painting in just like so. Okay, so I paint down, painting into his body. You notice that there's a little shadow on the radiator cover there that you need to pay attention to. That wasn't in the first layer, but when he's there, it appears. So you do want to make sure you're painting that one in as well. All right, just like that. All right, so you've stamped someone up to the top layer. So if I bring this opacity back up to 100%, all right, and zoom out, now I've got two figures in the exact same layer. All right. Then you can do the same thing. You can hide that layer. You can find this guy, all right, the person on that layer, and repeat the process. So again, on the top layer, you're going to bring the opacity back down to say 50%, so you see both layers at the same time. Make that next layer active. Pick a spot that you want to clone stamp. I'm going to pick an easier spot than last time because that hair was a little tricky. So I'm going to pick, say, a spot that's really easy to line up. So I'm going to use this little spot here right on the edge of the what is this, coffee table or something like that. Alt-click right in that intersection, bring it up to the top layer. Now I can see how I've got that crosshair almost that I can work to line up just perfectly. When it lines up perfectly, then you can click in and paint into your top layer. Okay, so painting, I'll probably use a bigger brush to do this a bit more quickly. Paint, paint, paint. Just like that. Alright, so now if I bring the opacity back up on my top layer, take a look. Now I've got 3 people in the same layer, and so on. So I won't go through the whole thing with you, but there you go. If the layer masks aren't for you, the clone stamp can be a good tool that you can also use. The clone stamp can be good for some overlapping layers if the layer mask is giving you trouble. All right, so give that one a shot.